Women educators are natural givers, pouring into their students, their families, and communities. But what about pouring into you? This is the Educator Sanctuary, where we help you ditch the guilt and unapologetically put yourself at the top of your list. I'm Dr. Leah, educator, mindset coach, and your guide to creating a life where you align with your purpose and reclaim your power. So if you're ready to set boundaries and step fully into the woman you're meant to be, you're definitely in the right place. Let's get into it. Hey, and welcome back to the Educator Sanctuary, where we have big conversations, mindset shifts, personal growth, and all the things that help us live more intentionally. Whether you are a mom, a teacher, a community leader, or you are a woman holding space for others, this show is for you. If you are new here, I'm Dr. Leah, and I love discussing personal development and all the little tweaks we can make in our personal worlds to live our best lives now. It is December. The end of the year is here, and I was talking with people recently about their goals. A lot of them had not even hit their milestones yet, and their plan was simply to scrap it all and start fresh next year. I get it though. People do this every single year. I actually came from the world where I was like a women's fitness coach. And so by the time November and December gets here, people are like, yeah, I'll just start after the new year. I understand the holidays are hectic and it's easy to think, I'll just reset in January. But here's why I don't think that's the best approach. Because a lot can happen in 24 hours. Most certainly, a lot can happen in 31 days. So we still have an entire month left to make progress. And even the smallest, most intentional steps will be able to create big momentum that can carry you forward into the new year and literally start you off with a bang. I have personally learned that setbacks happen often because of what we're putting out. So the energy that you put out is the energy that you get back. So if you put out a lot, you'll get a lot back. But also, if you put out nothing, guess what you're going to get? You guessed it. You're not going to get anything. So there's a principle at play here called the law of compounding effort. Sometimes they call it the law of consistency, but compounding effort. So the consistent work that you put in multiplies over time. And the same happens if you go in reverse. So if you stop for a month, you might fall behind. And this is why I don't think really you should do it in any month, but especially not in December. It's not the month to go ahead and just completely abandon your goals. This is the month right here, right now, to be smart, to be intentional, and strategic about your energy and your time. You can lean into your family and the joy of the holidays and all of that without completely dropping your progress, because every moment counts. When I personally think back to last December, I was just putting my business in motion. I had just opened the doors to my school a couple months prior to that. And I was literally praying for a miracle to take off, because I was like, God, I got to live, right? I have to run a business and I have to run a home. And so I was really praying for the biggest miracle. And I didn't think that I could take off an entire month of December, even if school was closed, to do nothing. So while I did take time to enjoy my holiday, my December was truly filled with setting plans in motion for what I hoped an amazing January would look like. And when I tell you that by the end of January, I had more than doubled, almost tripled my December income, I did. And from January to now, unbelievable. I have 10x'd my income. Now, while my business expenses and my personal responsibilities do not make me feel like that growth has been linear, I can tell you that the results do not lie. And my results is really because of the consistent effort and alignment that I've put into things, and not sporadic bursts of inspiration or work. I would be lying if I told you that I always felt like doing the things that I need to do. A lot of times I had to force myself to do what I need to do because it seems easier to sit on that couch, to watch a good movie, to scroll on social media, to be out on the weekends, playing around, enjoying my time, being out at the parks, and all this other stuff. That is easy to do. But I also knew that those things would not be the income producing activities that I needed to be doing to change my life. So it is the result of intentional work, intentional focus, and intentional energy management. And speaking of energy, I do want to be transparent about what I believe gets in the way of most people. So when people are working their 9 to 5 jobs or whatever hours you work in 40, 50, 60 hours a week. I get it. The only thing you want to do is relax. Trust me, I understand. It is the reason that people spend their weekends running around doing everything for everybody else, doing all the things that they couldn't do all week, cleaning their house, spending time with their loved ones, going shopping, relaxing, or whatever the case may need to be, because it's like you work 5 days, like, gosh, just give me these 2 days to go ahead and relax. I get it. Some people procrastinate on things that they need to do. Some people wait until the last minute and then they face mental exhaustion and they're like, oh, I just can't do it. I can't think about anything. And I see these things over and over. And I don't think it's a lack of desire. I don't think it's a lack of potential. I honestly don't even think it's that you always need the rest. I often think that it is a mindset block disguised as responsibility. The brain's job, or should I say the mind's job, is designed to do what's most efficient, to stick to what it knows, to be comfortable. And I talk about this all the time. So when we try to do something different, something that we're not conditioned to do, our brain simply resists. I don't want to do that. It finds shortcuts. It finds excuses. It finds reasons not to start. Now, I'm going to give you a little activity that I cannot take the credit for. It's just because I'm a little science nerd that this excites me. But if you do this activity, you will demonstrate to yourself how your brain looks for efficiency. So I want you to take your right foot, and if you're driving, you absolutely cannot do this. I do not take any responsibility. Only do this in a safe place, okay? But you're going to take your right foot and you're going to draw a circle. So turn your foot, draw a circle in a clockwise motion. So basically that's clockwise, it's turning to the right. While you are drawing a circle in a clockwise motion with your right foot, you're going to take your right hand and you're going to turn it left in a counterclockwise motion. Now, I probably drove some of you all crazy because what you realize is that you cannot do it. The minute that you decide that you're going to take your hand and go to the left, your foot wants to go to the left too. The brain is literally wired to find efficiency. This is what happens when you attempt to make a change in your life. When you try to act on your goals that you have been procrastinating on, your brain is like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. And then that resistance began to show up as excuses or distractions or mental fatigue or a situation in life that plays out that is so much more important than what you were trying to do. It's not that you cannot do it. It's that your mind is trying to help you avoid the unfamiliar because it believes that the unfamiliar is unsafe. Hey, Educator Sanctuary listeners. Are you a homeschooling mom or thinking about it, but feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or maybe unsure how to confidently guide your child's learning journey? Maybe you're craving time for self-care, rest, or just a break, but you feel like you're doing it all on your own without anyone to turn to for help. Let me introduce you to Purpose Prep Academy, an online and in-person STEAM micro school for learners in grades K-8. Purpose Prep Academy isn't just any school. It's a space where young minds are nurtured, empowered, and taught to lead with confidence, curiosity, and purpose.
Purpose Prep Academy focuses on providing students with the academic tools they need while fostering personal growth to help them thrive both inside and outside the classroom. At Purpose Prep Academy, they offer personalized learning, foster critical thinking, and provide real-world applications to help students become 21st century leaders and change makers. If you're looking for a program that can help you reclaim your time, give you peace of mind, or simply give your child a space to thrive, Purpose Prep Academy could be exactly what you've been looking for. Want to learn more? Visit purposeprepacademy.org to schedule a virtual meeting or an experience day and find out if Purpose Prep Academy is the right fit for your family.
Recognizing this is powerful because once you start to become aware of it, you literally cannot unsee it. You will then know that you have to choose to override the autopilot that's going on in your mind and do it anyway. Another example of our brains on autopilot. I have a driver, and when my driver was bringing me to my house, I noticed that once we turned into my subdivision, my driver immediately started going in a completely different direction, a direction that is not in the direction of my house. And then I said, "You missed our turn." And my driver said, "Oh my gosh." And I said, "Yes, I figured that you thought that you were driving home." So I knew in my mind that my driver's mind was on autopilot. My driver is going in the direction of their home instead of my home. Why? Because that's what they do most of the time. We don't have to think a lot of the times when we're driving. There are so many times that you have driven to work or driven home and you don't even know how you made it there. Your mind knows how to do what it always does. Your mind does not want to do what it never does. So I hope that is a really good example. And so your awareness of this matters. It's not just about noticing these things, but it is about being intentional with what your next steps will be now that you have this information. And this is where the transformation can begin to start. So it is about you taking the time to say, where can I move the needle? I don't really feel like doing this now, so I am going to do this. I don't really want to start this project, but I will at least get step one done. Maybe step one is just going to clean up your office or making a space in your home so that you can think and work on whatever that is. So if you would like to finish this year strong, here are practical steps that I would do if I were you to start implementing my goals so that I can walk into my winning season beginning 2026. Number one, I would identify where I'm stuck. So identify where you're stuck. You know what you want to do or what you want to change, but you might feel stuck. You might feel confused. You might feel like I've tried this, but I'm spinning my wheels. Nothing is working. Then take a moment to get clear on what you believe is actually holding you back. Is it you don't know where to start? Is it you don't have the people in your home to support you? Is it that you don't have the resources, the money? What is the one thing that is holding you back? What is that big block? Write down a couple of them because it's probably more than one. But then circle the one you feel you could solve right now. Like maybe you have these 2 or 3 different things, but I could at least solve this one. Circle that one because that's the one that's going to make the most impact. Why? Because once you get started, a lot of times the steps unfold, but it's important that you do start because it's impossible to move forward if you do not understand what's in your way or how you're going to navigate that roadblock. Step number 2, map out all your resources. You might feel like you can't make progress because you don't know what to do or you don't have the right tools. But most of the time, we actually have every single thing we need. We just don't see everything clearly. So you can list all the possible resources that you have access to, whether it's people, skills, books, program, tools, and then look at that biggest block, the one that you said, I think I could solve this right now, and then which resource would open a door to solving that today. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes you have to fiddle with a few things. I have done that. It's like, I don't really know what I don't know, but I'm going to start here. And maybe an hour or two down the line, something else opens up because I didn't give up. And that's when new opportunities start to reveal themselves. Remember, if the brain is trying to keep us comfortable, sometimes it doesn't even allow us to see the possibilities, which is the reason why you have to map things out and you have to start. Which leads me into step number 3 is to take that imperfect action. So I've said this before because I learned this from another businesswoman, but imperfect action is always better than perfect inaction. You know what you want and what's available, but fear, procrastination, the mental blocks, they literally keep you stuck. So what do people do? They fill their time with busy work, things that make them look or feel productive, but it really doesn't get them very far. And that is why I like to do what I call income producing activities. Is this an income producing activity or is this busy work? Is this going to get me to my goal, or did I just find something else to do to keep me from doing what I actually really need to do? So just like the activity that we just did where I said, okay, move your foot right and your hand left, and your brain switched up because your brain wants efficiency and shortcuts, it is the same as the old patterns like procrastination or avoiding tough decisions feel easier because our brain is going to switch back to that. So you have to be able to commit to taking one small imperfect action that pushes you out of your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? It just has to get done. The small steps trigger momentum, and that trains your brain to handle these new patterns. And then repetition of the new patterns is what make it normal. Step 4, align with the people who are where you want to go. Okay. A lot of times you're trying to solve new problems and grow in isolation, and you're sharing your ideas with the people that you know that don't really have any knowledge of what you're doing or what you want to do. They're not even ahead of you. They're not even at the same pace as you. That can keep you stuck in cycles of limited thinking. I remember when I would have business ideas and I'm running my business ideas by people who don't even have a business. I am running my ideas by people who don't even want a business. I am running my ideas by people who have never even seen a vision of a business for themselves. How are they going to see the vision for me? So you have to surround yourself with people who are already doing what you want to do, because their perspective and their experience and their energy is going to open doors you did not even see. In this space that I am in now, it's very new territory for me. Okay. I cannot tell you the amount of tears that have been shed from frustration of trying to get something done and not feeling like I knew anybody that could help me. But lo and behold, again, when you take those steps and you just start talking to people, you meet people and resources open up. You begin to meet the people that you need, and they begin to give you ideas that when they say them, it's like, wow, that was so simple. Like, why did my mind not even think about that? And this is what I mean when I say The perspective, the experience, and energy from people who are where you want to be will open the doors that you did not see. So try to identify at least a person, a group, or a community of people that are on the path of where you want to be. Start engaging with them and observing how they operate, or asking questions, and or letting their examples inspire you. Even if it's just you going on social media and following people in these spaces that are talking and educating and being thought leaders and helping out. Being around these types of people, it doesn't just motivate you, but it shows you what is possible. Step number 5, bring in accountability to accelerate your results. Okay. If you are trying to do the work that you have never done, if you are trying to take action on things that you have never taken action on, or have taken action but not successfully, you need to do it with someone that can help hold you accountable. It is very easy to drift or stall, and worse, just go back to the place that you came from, because it's so easy to do. Most people literally underestimate how much a coaching program or mentorship or some type of structured accountability can actually multiply your results. I am a person, I love accountability. And I love accountability because I may not feel like doing it for myself, but I personally don't want to have to tell somebody else that I didn't do it. So accountability truly helps me get a lot of things done. Throughout my years of being an entrepreneur, I have also taken the liberty to invest in coaching, whether that was group coaching. I've done one-on-one coaching. I've done mentorship phone calls. I've gone and paid for extra certifications. I'm personally not going to leave a resource on the table. If someone can help me get there quicker and faster and better, I want that. I don't want to spin my wheels for 2, 3, 4 years trying to do things on my own that I absolutely don't know how to do, spending hours on YouTube getting 50 different thousand perspectives of things. I don't want to do that, right? I personally want the shortcut. So decide on your accountability structure, whether that's a coach, a mastermind, a mentor, whatever it is, and then commit to showing up, being honest about your progress, and letting somebody hold you to reaching your goals. Accountability never replaces your effort, but it does pretty much guarantee that you're going to move in the right direction if you have someone who has been where you are going to keep you consistent. So now that you have those 5 steps, your homework, if you're new here, we always have homework every episode, is to think about what it is you want to execute and finish this year strong. So at the beginning of the year, you most likely had some type of goal, something you wanted to commit to in 2025, whether it's big or small. Pretty sure there's something that you still haven't completed. Whatever that is, write it down, lock in. Then look at how you spent your time instead. You started at 2025 saying, I want to do this, but how did you spend your time instead? What excuses did you give yourself? What activities or must do's, I have to do this, took over your energy for your goal? Be specific and be honest with yourself, because it's not about shame, but it is about clarity and putting you back on the right track. Then ask yourself, do I want this enough? Why was it important in January? And why did I move it to the back burner over the past 10, 11 months? Okay. It's kind of like, I remember my daughter, she had told me she wanted to be on the volleyball team. And she had me getting up out of my bed at the crack of dawn, and I didn't even want to do it. Taking her to volleyball practice, picking her up at inconvenient times throughout the day. And she did this for a couple of weeks. And when it came to the final decision from the coach wanted to actually speak personally to me. And she said, I wanted to talk to you about your daughter because I know she wanted to try out for the team. And I know she probably was hoping that she would make the team, but we only have a certain amount of spots. And we had more girls try out obviously, then they had spots to fill. And I wanted to tell you beforehand that your daughter's not getting a spot on the team. Not because she can't play volleyball, but because I didn't feel like she wanted it enough. Like, I think she thought it was a nice idea or something cool to brag about and say, I'm on the volleyball team. But I don't think she really wanted to be on the volleyball team. I know girls who tried out who wanted. They live this, they breathe this. They don't want to do anything else but play volleyball. And those are the girls that I want on my team. And I think about this when people say, I want to have this business, or I want to achieve this goal, or I want this accomplishment. But then they don't work towards any of those things. It was like, was it a nice thing to do? Or is it something that you truly want? Right? And if it was something that you must do, then what do you need to change within you significantly? So, what are those things you said you wanted in 2025? Why did you put it in the back burner? And do you really want it, or was that just a nice thing to do? Because we're not doing nice things. We're doing things that we absolutely have to do. We're doing things that are aligned with our purpose. For example, if you had a weight loss goal, right? Was it a nice idea? Did you just want to look, summertime fine? Or do you need to really be improving your health and your confidence? So it's like, is it a nice idea to get in shape and lose weight? Or is it like you must do it? If maybe it was a business idea, did you take consistent steps to build your business? Or did you end 2025 and you still don't have clients? Do you want this business because it's really cool to have an additional income? Or do you really need this income because it's going to give you the freedom that you desire in your life? And once you put these types of things into perspective, then things become a little bit more serious with how you spend your time. Reflect on your patterns. Look at the months that you did not take actions. When and where did your commitment fade? What behaviors or thought patterns got in the way? This is not for you to judge yourself or feel bad. It's observation. And the reason why you want to observe these things is that you can't change anything that you're not aware of. Visualize the consequences of inaction and ask yourself, what happens if I never achieve this goal? Am I going to be okay with it? Or will I live my life with regret? Understand the real cost of not taking action. What is it costing you not to achieve what it is you said you wanted to do? And then lastly, sit quietly with yourself and just give yourself permission to think deeply about what you really want and what you really need. Let your mind wander to the possibilities without limits. This is about reconnecting with your own clarity and intuition so that you could see where action is required and where you might need support. And here's the part that I really want you to lean into. Everything that I told you is simple, not easy, but simple. The reason why it's not easy is because you have been carrying whatever patterns you're working with for years. Patterns of starting strong and slowing down. Patterns of meaning well and getting distracted. Patterns of convincing yourself that you'll get to it once life calms down. But life is not going to calm down. And that is not the worst thing. It's not. It just means that your growth cannot depend on the wind being still. It has to simply depend on you deciding that you matter enough to take yourself and your goals seriously. So when you actually start to sit down with these steps, you're going to see the truth. You're going to see where you have been hiding behind responsibilities. You're going to see where you have been procrastinating in the name of just being busy. You're going to see where you've been trying to figure things out and burning energy on things that do not move your life forward. And that awareness is powerful because, again, once you see it, you will not be able to unsee it. And once you see it, you will finally be able to make different decisions. These steps will give you clarity, but clarity alone will not move your life forward. Commitment will. Accountability does. Support does. And this is the part where most people fall off. Not because they're not capable, but because they're trying to do it without the support. And personally, I think that when you're trying to make big leaps and goals and you do not have the right support systems in place, it's like driving to a destination you've never been to without a map. You can get in the car and you can start moving, but it doesn't mean that you chose the best route. And it definitely doesn't guarantee that you're going to end up where you thought you were going. You could literally end up in a completely different side of the country simply because you did not know all the twists and turns along the way. So what I'm saying is, even if you took all of the steps that I have given you and you tried it on your own, you absolutely can make progress. You truly could. But walking through them with someone who knows what you're trying to build, someone who can see around your blind spots, someone that can help you take the next step instead of spinning in circles, that would actually shorten your timelines in ways that you can't even imagine. Okay? So hopefully this will help you get through this month. Hopefully this motivates you to say, yes, I can do this. Yes, I'm going to use my time right. Yes, I'm going to end 2025 strong. Yes, I'm going to commit to me. No, I'm not going to let another year pass without me showing up as the woman I said that I want to be. So if you are listening to this and you're thinking, I absolutely would love support, my Mindset to Money program is officially open, and there is a link in the show notes for you to be able to sign up for a call with me. Now, I am limiting spots because this is a high touch program and I'm only working with a small group of women because I want to be able to have time to support them. So my goal is to make sure that you get real results, that you can actually live the life you desire and deserve. So if you know that it is time for a shift, I don't want you to think about this any longer. Go ahead and check the show notes to hop on a call with me. If you're not there yet, that is simply okay. But if you love this episode because you're like, yep, I learned something. Yep, that's good for me to understand. Yep, I'm going to be aware next time. Please take the minute to also share this with 10 other women in your life who need this reminder today. And of course, make sure you have followed this podcast so that you never miss an episode, because I definitely want to see you back here. But more importantly, thank you for being here. Thank you for growing with me. Thank you for putting yourself first and giving yourself this time to sit through this podcast today. I'll see you next time inside the Educator Sanctuary, but I also hope to see you in Mindset to Money. Talk soon. Thank you for joining me in the Educator Sanctuary, where we create a space for women educators to reclaim their power and prioritize themselves unapologetically. If you've loved what you've heard, please do not forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with other amazing women who need to hear this message. Until next time, remember, you are capable, you are powerful, and you are absolutely worthy. You've got this. Talk soon.